All right. What's up, everybody?
How we doing?
We're going to talk about Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, where do you want to start?
I mean, you can go right, well, start from the top, I guess. Dude, it was just like I don't know if it's recency bias or what, but like,
Legit one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a
yeah,
long time.
I thought
Or
it was
PLEs,
definitely the
but
best this year.
definitely the best this year. I thought all the matches were amazing. We'll get right to it. First match opened up with the Women's Elimination Chamber, which I thought was amazing.
Oh yeah,
Um, I uh, I really loved that. Uh, the opening to that match was so good when it finally first started, and Jade Cargill
yeah. It
comes
was like
back.
right at the beginning of the match.
Yep, and Liv is like, "You gotta be kidding me! It wasn't me." And Jade gets in and goes, "I know," and starts kicking the shit out of Naomi, dude. That was so good,
Yeah, because
so good.
we kind of were talking about if it was Bianca or Naomi.
Yeah. We did talk about that a bit for sure. But I couldn't say I was sure it was going to be Naomi or Bianca. I thought it'd be one of them, but I love that.
I think
I
it's great
love
because,
that.
yeah, and
It,
it makes it so like the thing about this is like you don't really think about people who are in tag teams as being the ones that are going to win the like a to win the chamber and go to Mania. So
yeah,
like they felt like they were not impossibilities but like improbables. You know what I mean? Because they're in a
yep,
tag team.
absolutely.
So having this happen shakes it up to where, and Bianca deserves it. I mean, she's had a great year, and
Oh yeah,
I mean,
oh
you
yeah.
know,
She definitely deserves the win. I love the way that's looking, and I love that they have it. So they acknowledged that Io Sky is facing Rhea on Monday,
yeah,
and they don't just tell you
it's
it's
not.
going to be Rhea. It's like, no, not yet. It's not.
Yeah,
Like, I guess right as of right now, sure, because she's the champion, but she's got to defend it against Io Monday, and they could they could go either way with that and have it get really interesting. So,
I kind of hope they
um,
do.
I,
To be honest with you,
I kind of hope they do too. I think it would just be cool, and Rhea doesn't need the belt, and she can still be in the mix. But um, I feel like I love that the extra touch to it that I thought was amazing was everybody else in the match's reaction to what happened.
yeah,
Like Bianca's stuck in the cell and it's happening right in her face and she's like crying and flipping out. And then Liv is going over to Bianca and being like, "I told you it wasn't me. What did I tell you?" Like, ha ha.
yeah, because
Just
we
very,
talked
dude.
about like how do you even interfere in a chamber match, and it turns out they just open the door for you, and
That's yeah.
they just let you
Turns out
in.
you just open the door. It's so funny. We were literally just talking about that the last episode. It's like, oh, that's out.
Oh, they just opened the. I guess they just opened the cage.
You just fucking walk right in. It's no big deal. Um, I feel like I feel like Alexa Bliss looked great in that match. Roxanne Perez looked great in that match. Like everybody looked great. Bailey, obviously Naomi didn't because she was cooked and
Yeah.
got like stretched out or whatever. And like you said, Bianca winning. I love that. I have no problem with that at all.
No,
I
I don't
thought that
either.
was really good.
Yeah, that was a good way to like just throw a wrench in there.
Hmm.
And like a lot of this shit was booked like it shows you that man, I don't think anybody really called it to be booked that way. And some of this
No,
other shit, obviously I don't think a lot of people saw it coming like later on, but that
yeah,
match was
yeah, I
yeah, it
don't
was a
think
good
so.
match. I enjoyed the women's chamber match.
It really set the pace for the night too.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really crazy. Um,
I think the second
yeah,
match was the tag match,
yep,
which
Tiffy
which was
and
good.
Trish versus Nia and Candice. I thought that was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was just
I thought, and here's what I liked about it was that the trickiest spot to be in on a card like this is the match right after the opener.
Yeah.
If the opener, because the opener's got to be insane and set the pace for the night, usually. And so that second match has to reset the crowd without losing them. And that's a nightmare. And I felt like this match actually did a good job at that.
Yeah.
Like by the end of the match, you were absolutely, like the audience was absolutely refreshed and locked in again.
Right.
They didn't just sit on their thumbs and just go, oh, we don't care through the whole match. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Tiffy and Trish and everybody managed to get the crowd behind them, and I thought it was good. Trish looks amazing as
Trish, she
always.
was in the
Like
match for.
she wrestles as good as she
Yeah.
ever has, if not better.
Yeah, they
Now,
she was in there for a long time before she was able
Yep,
to
yeah,
tag out.
yep, absolutely.
And yeah,
Um,
she did well. And it's like home crowd, so like
yeah,
obviously
yep,
that helps.
absolutely. Which I did see on SmackDown. Um, when Trish had the mic and she said to some kid in the some little girl in the audience, when your daddy was your age, he probably had a poster of me on his wall, and I was like, yeah, I pretty much guarantee that.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much guaranteed.
Yep.
Um, I feel like um, Candice looked really good in that match. She had, like, everybody was good in it, but I feel like she she had multiple times where I remember being like, "Damn, dude, she's good. She's really
Yeah.
solid."
Yeah. Oh, she has
And
been.
I think her getting with Naya and getting to be part of, like, brought in on more main event level storylines has been good for
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
her. She was kind of lost in the mix with other people she was working with in the past. But other than that, I mean,
I think
I thought it was a really good match, and yeah,
it's a good
like I
spot.
said, it
Like
reset.
it allows her to kind of show her personality because she didn't really get that
Yeah,
chance.
yeah, exactly.
And I
And
think, with Tiffany leaving, like, because Naya and Tiffany were kind of the team for a while. So now you can just have somebody step in there, and maybe eventually that breaks up too. Who the fuck knows? But
yeah, we'll see. Um, but yeah, I don't really have anything else for that match other than that I thought it did a good job in the spot it was in, and I consider that to be a tricky spot.
yeah, I
Um,
always love Alexa's. Like anytime there's like a Sister Abigail, I always love that they hold them for like 3 seconds, and the other
yeah,
person just going like waving their arms like don't do
yeah,
it, help,
yep,
help.
yeah. I
it's
noticed
it's
that
such a
every
funny
time
setup,
too.
dude.
Yeah, dude. Um, Real quick to go back to the women's elimination chamber, I just remembered the whip that Bianca gave to Liv was super fucked up with her hair.
Oh yeah,
And by the end of that match, Liv Morgan was very beat up.
yeah,
So, yeah, props to her for
yeah.
going through all
Watching
that. That was
I Show Speed's stream there, she hit him
where he's getting whipped,
with
dude.
her hair,
Phew.
and he was like, "Ow, that fucking hurts." It's
Yeah,
like,
hurts worse than you're thinking,
yeah,
for sure. So now, the third match. Holy smokes, dude.
yeah.
Owens and Sami in the unsanctioned match.
Yeah, we
This
said that
was,
this was probably going to be the match of the night, and I still think it was.
I think it was. I, I think the men's elimination chamber match was the match of the night for me, but with an asterisk because a lot of that has to do with the storytelling aspects
Yeah,
towards the end and
yeah,
everything,
yeah,
which we'll get into.
yeah.
Whereas with Kevin and Sami, performance wise, they just ran each other through the ringer so hard, dude. There
Uh,
was so much crazy shit in that
what
match.
I thought was really cool is the way they presented the match. Like they changed the lighting
Yeah.
and all
Changed the
that
lighting.
stuff.
They blacked out the WWE logo. They had a ref out there just in kind of like his suit clothes,
Yeah,
like a t shirt and some slacks. He wasn't wearing his ref, uniform, and they said he's literally just out there to count a pinfall, so they stop.
Yeah, I thought
Other than that,
that was really cool. And it
I, I, I,
just it
I
gave it a completely different vibe. Like,
yeah, and I've always been a guy where I don't give a shit about unsanctioned matches because they don't make sense to me fundamentally. Like, oh, it's not sanctioned. Why are you airing it
but it's
then?
on your pay-per-view or
But
whatever.
but it's taking up a time slot on your show, even though you're not allowing them to have the match. So I just thought that was stupid. What I like about this was that they at least made an effort to try to develop a little more info on what an unsanctioned
Yeah.
match is
Yes.
to an extent so that you at least get like, oh, this is going to be no holds barred. They're going to fight all over the
Yeah,
arena and it's just going to
I
get
think
filmed.
I
You
think
know
what
what I
it did
mean?
was give you it gave you like, oh, this is different than an Extreme Rules match or a fucking Falls Count
Yep.
Anywhere or
Yep.
whatever.
And it had a different feel for sure with the lighting and everything.
The lighting was awesome. I couldn't get over
And
that. I
it
was like, this
was.
is so cool the way they do it.
God, they just kicked the fucking shit out of each other, dude. So bad they kicked the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
Everything with the barbed wire wrapped chair was so sketchy.
yeah.
The
It seemed
the
like there was the
oh,
so first he went through. Zayn basically put Owens through like two tables outside, like out in the crowd area. And then he comes back, and then I believe the second one or the third one is the two stack of tables where he jumps
that
off the
Kevin
turnbuckle
shoved Sami
Yeah.
through him right off the turnbuckle
and he
out.
like
Yeah, that was
flips
sketchy too.
through the tables. And then I think he goes through another table at some point. I tried to count the number of tables, and I was like, I'm not even gonna be able to do that. It was like
No,
there
yeah,
was like 6 or 7 table spots.
something like that. But yeah, I thought the way the match ended with Owens hitting all of those power bombs onto the apron to Sami,
Yeah,
and I liked Sami selling throughout the match, like his neck and losing feeling in his arms and stuff like that. I thought they just did a really good job with that.
yep,
Props to those two psycho sons of bitches.
yep,
That was a tough one, man. That took something out of both of those guys. But they
yeah.
had said this is going to be wicked intense, and we're going to kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah, the
And
barbed
I liked
wire.
having Owens win. I liked Owens
Yeah, me
winning
too.
that match.
Yeah, me too. Owens is just
Yep.
so good, dude.
He's so
Oh
good,
my God.
and I feel like it was that it set up for a future feud for Mania too, because having Owens win, then we got Orton back
Yeah. So well,
to go straight after Owens.
yeah, and the barbed wire chair was cool. Like they had him kind of trip, like they had him toe hold onto the chair, and then
Yep.
I can't remember if that was the finish, but they have the two chairs set up and then the barbed wire chair on top of it. No,
And he
Owens went
does
through
like
that. Owens went through that.
Owens
so.
took a suplex through it or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and it was a lot of fucking.
It was wicked sketchy.
You get a lot of there was a lot of those like half
Oh,
Nelson.
he hit him with the blue thunder bomb onto it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There was a
pretty
lot of
sure.
those half Nelson, belly to back suplexes.
Yeah.
And those
Snap,
are those
dragon,
are fucking
suplexes,
yeah,
or whatever they call them. Yeah, those are brutal, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Orton, and this was like when Orton came out. It like I think Owens did such a good job selling this. Like he was in the ring
Yeah.
like almost in tears. He was like, I just went through war, and he's like, oh, I guess here he comes. I'm gonna do this.
Yep. With Orton, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Orton teased punting him, which was wicked cool. Hadn't seen that so long. I was amped for that.
Yeah.
And then they fucking ruin it. Have me
Yeah,
get in the
but
way,
you
but
know, it was a good
whatever.
tease. Yeah.
It's a good setup, and it might mean that they'll face each other at Mania, and we'll see Orton hit it on him at Mania,
Yeah, and he
which
you
would
know,
be nuts.
I think it made a lot of sense too. They're like, you know, Orton comes out, he's like, well, there's no rules right now. None of this is sanctioned.
Oh, I'll punt his ass
Yeah.
now. Yeah, yeah, yep. Oh, you're gonna stop me? I'll get DQ'd. I'm not in the match.
But
Who
I thought
cares?
Owens and Zayn did such a good job in this match. Just
Yeah.
not just like the match itself, but like just the storytelling and like the emotions, like everything about it was. I thought that
Big
was
time.
it was just
Big time. It was
I
stellar,
watched it
man.
twice.
So good. So good. Um, and they went for almost a half hour. All these matches are long.
Yeah,
The
there's
women's
only 5 matches
elimination
or
chamber
four
was
matches.
29. Yep, and then the tag match was 11:40, which is actually a good chunk of time
Yeah,
for what they were doing. And I'm glad they had that because they all got to get stuff in that made them look good and was like they actually got to tell a decent story in the ring, and I thought it was good.
yeah,
Uh, the Kevin Owens match was 27:35, so
yeah.
just shy of a half hour, and it felt like it felt like they were
Yeah.
never gonna stop hitting each other, dude, hitting huge
No,
moves
and
on
they're
each other.
still kicking out.
So
Like even
sketchy. Yep.
Sami kicking out, like just barely pulling his shoulder up. That
Oh
was. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
like they just did such a good job.
My favorite one of those was when I think it was Sammy got Irish whipped into the turnbuckle. That's like back left if you're looking at hard cam, and he bumped into the ref, and the ref took a bump, and then Owens hit like a stunner on him and goes to pin him, and Robinson has to run down
Yeah,
Little H,
yeah.
and he slides in, and he's not in the match. He runs down the whole ramp, slides in, nasty, like 1, 2, kick out. Owens doesn't hesitate. He gets up, he grabs Robinson, immediately
Lights him
clotheslines
up
him.
immediately.
I love that, dude. So funny. Just immediately, it's like, nope, I'm putting this ref out too. Fuck this guy.
The commentary's going, why would anyone want to be
uh,
referee? Like, because they keep
yeah,
sending refs in.
it is so funny.
They're like, next man up.
The commentary was incredible this night too.
Yeah,
Very very good commentary booth. Um,
yeah.
whew.
They brought Bad News Barrett in, so they had a
Yep, and
3-man.
he's great. He's great, and I thought the 3-man booth was good.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like um we've got, let's see, the chamber match, the men's one is what I wanted to get to next.
yeah,
Um, so that we were going into it before with our predictions being like, is it going to be Cena or Punk? What, is it going to be one of them? Probably.
yeah. I
Um,
think it was gonna
and it
be.
was.
Yeah, I think it basically was gonna come down to those two.
So, full disclosure, when I was watching this pay-per-view last night, I completely forgot about The Rock telling Cody that after tonight or whatever, he's gonna get his answer.
Yeah,
I totally forgot, which is good because uh, not to skip over the chamber, but when Rock came out later, after, I was like, oh yeah, I
yeah.
forgot
It
about
blended
that.
in
So
nicely.
we'll get to that, but the match itself, everybody in that match was awesome. Um,
Yeah,
let's
there's like
see.
because there's shit going on between all of them. So you have like Logan Paul
And
yelling at Punk,
that's
and
so important.
yeah,
That is so important to know. This match felt so much like it was a story match, like almost 90% story.
hmm,
Like, obviously, the wrestling in the match was great. I thought Cena looked amazing in this. I
yeah,
thought he looked great. I thought Punk looked great. Um, everybody else, it's funny. Everybody else I expect to look great because it's a bunch of the best guys in the company. You know what I mean? But Punk and Cena are both in their mid to late 40s,
yeah.
you know?
Well, yeah,
So
and they can
to
still
see
go.
them both being able to go at that level is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah,
But they carried a lot of the match. Honestly, Punk carried a lot of the match, or had. I feel like he had the majority of interactions with everybody because so many people there hate his guts.
well, yeah.
So like he
That's
had instant heat with Seth,
he's
instant heat with
he's
Drew.
involved in so many different like
Yep.
directions and
And I loved all the story moments. Like um I loved having Cena and Punk like hug in the middle of the ring before and like give them a big moment to like have a stare down
yeah,
for the crowd to just go nuts. And then they both turn their attention to Rollins
yep.
and like kick the shit out of him and hit him with stuff.
And
But not even that. Um, before we get to that, I loved the I loved Damian Priest specifically eliminating McIntyre. Love that.
yep, that was cool.
That's Yep, and I feel like that's probably going to lead to those two facing each other at Mania.
In the same way that I think you might see Rollins and Punk at Mania, because
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
way it,
because Rollins screwed him.
yeah, just the way that
Yep.
plays out.
Which we could get to that. I mean, yeah, there was a ton of like big moves and
Yeah, and that's all
Logan
speculation,
Paul
obviously. Yeah,
hitting a huge frog splash off the top of one of the things, and
yeah,
there was a ton of big moves.
yeah. We
As
definitely were
far as the
like, we
match
definitely knew
goes,
Logan Paul was gonna jump off a fucking pot.
Yup, and I thought that the way everybody used the chamber and the different parts of it in both matches was really
Yeah,
intelligent. I loved in the women's when we had Liv Morgan using Bianca's braid to shove her and then yank her by her hair back to the rope so she'd springboard off and kick her back into shove her
yeah. And
into
her
the
trying
cage and kept
to,
doing that. And
she was trying to like escape and climbing up the pod to get away and all this stuff.
yup, yup. And and in the men's one, um there was I'm trying to remember exactly how it played out now. There was one specific thing I remember. This is a small thing. This is a small thing, but I remember Rollins when he was first coming into the match and he's walking around, he got in Punk's face and was yelling stuff at Punk, and he tried to punch the plexiglass on the side, but it made the plexiglass whip into and like bite Punk's face, and I was like, I bet he didn't like that shit. But those plexiglass sides looked they got tested so much
Yeah,
that
they
night,
they
dude.
look
They
so like,
constantly looked like they were getting busted in any second.
yeah, and the commentary team keeps calling them glass, and it's not glass.
And
It's
it's
fucking
so
so
not.
obviously not glass. It's like
Yeah.
it's the most
I don't think
flexible
they're
shit.
not even supposed to be. They're supposed to be plexiglass
Yeah.
or something that's not going to shatter. Just bendable panels. Which good. They don't
Well,
need to
yeah,
be glass. That
yeah.
would be wicked
No, if it
sketchy.
was glass, they'd go through it every fucking time because someone
Yeah,
always
the
gets
first
thrown
time
into
anyone
it.
got, oh yeah, dude, they would get destroyed by it. But I loved that the last two guys were Punk and Cena in the men's, and with them at the end, Rollins screws over Punk, sets up for those two at Mania, which I love the idea of that. Logan Paul, fuck that guy. No, he's good, but he'll find something, dude. He'll find
Yeah,
something.
he'll
And
figure something out.
he did exactly what he needed to do. He made himself look good in the match.
Yeah, that's all he wanted to do was be in
I
the
thought
match.
he looked great in the match. He looked like it looked like because of the kind of match it was, you don't really get the luxury of having every single thing planned. So he had no choice but to utilize some on the fly working with guys, probably with them calling spots,
Yeah,
and that's good. Good. He's got to get. He's Everybody knows, that's part of the deal if you want to be an all-time great. And so it looked like he was doing some of that in the match, and that was good. He held his place perfectly. He was an antagonist to everybody. They got his ass smushed.
yeah,
Got his ass out of there.
yeah. It was good that they had him come in first so that
Yep,
everybody could have words with him
they
while
could
he's
all
in the
have their
fucking.
way with him. Yep, yep. Um, but yeah, I loved seeing Priest eliminate Drew, and then I loved that Rollins screwed over Punk, and Cena actually capitalized on
Yeah,
that and got him with an STFU,
he had him
which
in the hold, and he apologized to Punk. Did you
he
hear it?
did. Yeah,
So
yeah,
he apologizes to him. He's like, "I'm sorry. I have to take advantage of this."
yeah. He's like, I have to have it. I have to have it. And Cena wins Chamber. He's going to Mania to face Cody, and so we just got through the event.
Yeah,
That's the setup
and it's playing
for
all
what
the it's playing replays. Yeah,
I would consider this to be one of the most important moments in wrestling history, like unexaggerated.
this is
I
huge,
genuinely
like
think it is.
Hogan
Deb,
turning heel level.
huge is an understatement.
Yeah,
We won't be able to really express just how huge it is, other than to note. So We'll get to that. So,
Yeah,
um,
they're playing like
Cody comes out.
yeah, well they
Travis Scott comes out for some fucking reason,
yeah. Yeah, well yeah.
which I don't know.
It
At
starts
least,
playing the Rock's music and then he comes out.
at least he's a fan. Whatever. At least he's a super fan,
I thought he did like
and whatever.
he did a good job doing what he whatever, you know,
Yeah, yeah, he was
with
fine.
what it
Apparently, he
was.
smacked the shit out of Cody
Yeah.
in the ring. But either way,
Some
he comes
online
out, and then The Rock
fucking
comes out.
somebody on Reddit or something was like, well, there's like they could really play with this and be like Travis Scott also sold his soul to The Rock
They could.
and it's like
Yeah.
yeah, I guess. It's like
I
if
guess
you
they
really
could.
want to,
I don't
yeah,
know
you can do
why they don't need to do that,
But, like-
but I guess they could.
Yeah.
If he's serious about being around, sure. But if he's gonna say, "Oh, actually, it's hard work," so no,
that. Yeah.
then fuck
And
off.
he's
Dude.
burning
But
sage.
no, yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought him burning sage and
Oh,
shit was
that was
funny.
so good.
Um, but yeah, either way, that didn't bother me as much as it seemed to bother other people.
But well,
And I don't think it took away from the moment.
no,
Not even
I don't think
close.
so. But
No.
Cena hangs out in the ring, so then that's
He
when
does.
you start to like be like, why is he sticking around? You know, because he really didn't.
Well, I didn't even question it because I figured he was sticking around because Cody was coming out.
I just didn't.
And
Well,
he was
that
gonna
yeah,
see Cody and go, okay, it's you and me.
Yeah.
We're going to Mania.
I mean,
you know?
like after the Cody thing, he hangs out in the ring, which and I don't know, it didn't feel like he needed to be in the ring, and then you realize why. But
Oh yeah, you do.
it comes down to obviously Cody says no, but he says it in a different way.
But he says, "Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself,"
and they
which
didn't-
is the first deliberate fuck
Yeah.
in WWE
They did not
programming
censor
history.
it at all, and they didn't even censor it on YouTube.
No, they have no intent on censoring that fuck. They are telling you, they're using that to say, we can say fuck now, and this is us saying fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's right, and that was a big
And that's
deal.
the important thing
First
is like
off.
as long as you just don't have people swearing all the time for
No.
no reason. Even Michael
Which
Cole was swearing.
he has, yeah. I'm on the fence because I know I'll pop if Pat McAfee accidentally says fuck on air while I'm commentating.
yeah.
I know it'll get me. He's like, oh fuck, or so I'll geek so hard. But but yeah, 100%. That's a big deal. First off, we got a fuck that was intentional in a WWE segment, which is crazy.
Yeah, in a big moment.
An
like,
uncensored and intentionally uncensored, deliberate, planned fuck, which is crazy. And then the crowd went crazy for that, was surprised. And then Cody turns. He looks at Cena. He asks to shake his hand. He points to the sign. Cena hugs him, and they show him see the Rock. And now this is how just certain this could not happen this way. I was because of the history,
yeah.
When I saw Cena hugging Cody, and then he turns and he looks at Rock, and his face gets wicked intense. My first thought was genuinely like, oh shit, these guys have history. He's about to step to Rock, and maybe they're going to set up some weird shit for like night one or something with
Wow,
Cody and Cena versus Rock and someone else.
That's wild because
right?
I immediately was like,
there was no scenario in my mind where it could be that. And then until the Rock did the throat cut thing, and I was like, what?
yeah,
What?
no.
And then Cena turns heel and low blows.
Because in my head, I was
Cody.
like, well, somebody's joining The Rock tonight. And as soon as I saw Cena's, like, I'm a bad guy acting face, I was like, oh, shit. This is crazy.
Dude. Different, yeah, crazy. I don't even know what to call it because the reality is when Hogan turned heel, right? When Hogan turned heel is considered to be one of the biggest moments in wrestling history. Let's put that into perspective quick. He was in WCW. The Hogan Hulkamaniacs thing was beaten to death. It was already so exhausted.
Yeah.
He was getting booed out of arenas doing the full blown Hulkster shtick, which no one talks about. That's not true. People talk about it, but people like to forget that when they try to say that's a big deal,
Right.
right? It is a big deal.
Yeah, it obviously
But
was.
turning heel saved his career because he was on the downward swing because the Hulkamania stuff was getting tired.
Yeah.
So um, when he turned heel, though, the biggest difference. This is what I'll say. If you're going to compare the two, no question to me, the better turn is Cena. Cena's this might be the best heel turn in the history of the
I
business.
agree. And it's
Unexaggerated.
because he's still with that same gimmick, but now
At least right now.
it's over. It's people are not booing him for it. They're in a situation where now they are rooting for John Cena with the
The
same,
most they've ever been.
yeah, with the
He
same,
he got them. He got them to root for him in this the most they
yeah,
ever had, with everybody begging for him to win. He wins it. The crowd cheers for him as loud and as big as they rarely ever had for him in his career. He was as unanimously over as a good guy
right,
as he's ever been in his career, getting his flowers in that moment. And that is when, after 22 years of never turning, all those years, decades on top of the industry, and in his final year, marketed
yeah,
as such,
yeah. Literally told
he
everybody it's
turns
his last
heel
year.
for the first time
What are you doing,
ever.
Teresa? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Teresa, what's up? He turns heel for the first time ever after 2 decades and does it when he's as over unanimously as he's ever been. To me, that's the best heel turn ever in the history of wrestling. I will say, I think Hogan's heel turn will prove to be the more impactful on the industry, though. I don't think that it makes it better,
Yeah,
but it's just that at the time when he turned heel, it set up the NWO, which is not all Hogan's fault. They would have found someone else, and I think they probably would have still pulled it off. But Hogan turning heel was kind of the launch point officially of the NWO, and the NWO, not just Hogan, changed wrestling forever. It just did. It was such a big paradigm shift in the industry. I think that the industry's already changed for the better and entered a new era under Triple H and The Rock with WWE right now. Just absolutely on fire.
right.
Some of the best storytelling they've ever done the past couple years. But Cena's turn is just it's one of the best. It just, to me, it's the best heel turn of all
I
time.
think a lot of it has to do with how unexpected it is because,
Yeah,
most people were like, we're
unimaginable.
never going to see heel Cena. We're just not, because
No,
it's like,
and
he's
he's
doing
been
Make-A-Wish
very
shit before the
candid.
show. It's like,
He's been very candid and real in interviews for a long time when he said there was a point in time where I intended to turn heel and we thought I was going to do it, and I went out and I got gear. I got all new gear. I got a whole new style worked out where I was going to have all these different jerseys
yep,
and stuff I could wrestle in that I would rotate through, and I got a whole new theme song made, cut it, mixed, mastered everything, submitted to WWE, and at the last second they went, "We actually just can't,
yeah,
because what do we like?" The dude he's the single 1A most Make-A-Wish wishes granted human on Earth ever. That's all you need to know.
here's here's
Hogan
here's the biggest
Hogan
thing.
has never and will never be that over. And people will try to say that I say that because of I wasn't a kid when Hogan was around, right? I don't care. The amount of actual good guy in real life stuff Cena's done
Yeah,
when we know Hogan's
it's,
just trash human, pile of
yeah,
garbage human, which, whatever. It doesn't impact his
but
ability as a
the difference
wrestler,
is,
but it definitely makes his heel turn less of a big
the
deal,
difference is if
turn
if
wise.
you were a piece of shit back then, it didn't matter as much because you're part of the wrestling industry. Like if you're a
Everybody was a
heel,
piece of shit.
yeah, if you were a heel anyway. Even if you were a heel, like if you were a
Yeah,
heel in
it's
wrestling,
perfect.
you were a heel everywhere.
You had to be,
And you
or
had
you're
to
fired.
be.
Yep.
But he was just like he just was a bad person. But like, it's like it didn't matter just because
It
he was.
didn't matter.
Yeah,
No, it didn't
because
matter because
kayfabe was alive.
they didn't have. Yeah, yep. Kayfabe was alive, and he was an idol to kids all around the world and stuff like that.
Yeah,
No question about
I
that.
think
But WWE didn't even have the reach that it does now. Then, like Cena has reached more
well,
people.
that's true.
He's done more to have. He has a bigger following of children that he is their hero, and the Make a Wish work and all that stuff he's done, to me, makes it so that who he's turning on is a larger, more emotionally damaged by the turn crowd than what Hogan
Yeah.
had access to at the time.
And the difference is this isn't changing the industry. This is just like
No, it's not meant
just
to.
super unexpected. And it's
Yeah.
meant to be a swerve, and it gives Cena his ability to work as a heel before he retires. And
he's finally going to get to do it.
And
It's just genius.
yeah,
and
and
there's
it's
so much good about it. We can't even.
and you
get
can
a-
turn it
we can't-
around. You can
we're
turn
not
it
gonna be
around
able
at
to
the
talk
end.
about it all.
If you really want to, you can turn it
Yeah,
back around
he
and
can
have
have a
him go
redemption.
out the other way. You know,
Absolutely.
he doesn't have to go out on his back as a heel or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
But that's an
And
option
like you
too.
said, maybe it's recency bias, but I genuinely think that's the best heel turn of all time, and the most shocking.
It's clearly a huge, like iconic
If it's
moment.
not number one, it's top three ever. And when you have something like that, I would argue that even if you don't think it's the best heel turn of all time, if you've got another one, hell yeah. And if you're seeing this and you've got another one, tell us in the comments. I love that shit.
Yeah, I think
But
Cena did such a good job selling it, though.
he's just so good. And this was something that people have wanted for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that combined with all the other details make this one of the biggest moments in wrestling history.
You have The Rock and Cena, who are both actors. They're
Yes.
Hollywood level actors at this point.
Yup.
So when you have them in a segment where they're telling this story, they can pull that out of themselves, and they do it, and they're able to do that in an effective way.
Yep.
And I don't know whose idea this whole thing was, and it obviously was planned for a while. But
Yeah.
I mean,
It's so good,
it was
dude.
written so well.
It's so good. It's so good. And it's why I always tell people we are in the era of WWE where you must let them cook and just trust that whatever they're doing, it's probably long game. If they do something and you're going, especially at the main event, like when Rock came out and he did this thing, right? And people just were like, 3, okay. He wasn't doing that. He was telling you, like 6 months in advance or whatever, I found my devil.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? I found the guy who's going to sell his soul to me. And it's just really cool seeing long-term storytelling that be actually committed to. Like they know they have something so huge.
Well, he
and
went
it's
on.
so hard to not decide
The Rock.
3 months in, oh well, actually let's go this way, you know.
The Rock talked about it in the conference.
Yeah, at the post show, yeah.
And he's like, look, I'm in it to do these long stories. So like, if you,
that's what he loves and that's what he's about.
yeah, he's like, if you're gonna be
good,
you know, just pay attention and let it happen, you know.
Yeah.
And
just watch, enjoy, and let us take you on journeys because that's what they're going to do now.
yeah, and it's working.
And this was a major proof of that for sure. So good, dude. So good.
It's good for it works for him because he doesn't have to show up all the time, and it can, you know, you can draw out a long story. People are always thinking about it because you know it involves The Rock, so now you know that it's going to be a big deal, and you know he only has to come in every couple PLEs or whatever on a random show.
And when he does, it's going to be a huge deal every time, and you're going to go, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, and also you're going, what does that mean? Because we had so many times where we're going, what the fuck does this mean? Coming out at Bad Blood, standing there, you know, giving some shit to Cody, and then asking Cody for his soul, and we're like, what is happening? What does any of this fucking mean at all?
Yeah,
and then it kind of culminates at one point. And it comes in at an unexpected time with an unexpected person, and that's just fucking. That was fucking. I hate using it, but that was cinema. That was fucking cinema.
If anything we've seen deserves to be called cinema, that was
Yeah.
cinema. Yeah, 100%,
That
man. And
Cena's face, man.
That is where, that's really all there is to say about that night. We saved the best part, the most important part for last.
Yeah, and it's
Overall,
interesting.
Like you said, I think it was a great pay-per-view that's gonna get talked about and remembered forever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it was the night that Cena turned heel.
And
that's what I think.
I just wonder what he does with his character, how it changes. And
I'm so excited to see. I can't wait for Raw tomorrow.
Yeah, because he came out on the post during the conference, takes the mic off the thing and just goes.
Mic drop, walk. So good, dude. So good. Blew my mind.
Because he's gonna have to have an explanation for why he did it, or maybe he doesn't. And how does he act as a heel? Like, there's so many questions.
He doesn't have to explain shit. He legit doesn't have to explain shit.
Well, he doesn't.
But I am breaking that record. Period.
Yeah, I think.
And I'll sell my soul to do it.
That's all what it's about. Yep.
Yep. Love it. I can't love it enough, dude. It's so good. It's so good. It instantly makes this Mania so insane.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of interesting shit to look forward to there.
Whew. Yeah. All in all, we had to do this. Like, we knew this wouldn't be as long of a coverage thing, but we planned on covering Elimination Chamber ahead of time.
Well, we did a podcast. We did a fucking episode like 2 days ago.
We recorded Thursday.
It's we had to get something out now.
We did it Thursday, and we knew, okay, Elimination Chamber, something's going to go down. We know it. We're going to make sure we cover that. So here we are. Other than that, is there anything else that you want to say about the event?
I don't think so. No, I mean, we covered everything I could think of.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
I mean, we probably there's. I mean, Owens and Zayn, I still thought was like the best match, but I think
what they did. Yes, agreed.
I think I probably could. We could talk about that match forever, but because there's just so many spots in that match.
So much stuff happened. Absolutely.
But yeah, like I said at the top, it's like I thought this was one of the best shows they've done in a long time. It was the best all year for me.
It was definitely best all year for me as well. I love when they do these. I like that it was formatted how the Rumble was, because they have 2 long matches, a women's Rumble or Chamber or War Games or whatever.
And that's what it's called. Like, it makes sense. That's what the show is.
So just do the 4 matches, give the 2 in-betweens time to go, and let the big matches take up the majority of the show.
And they built the other matches well. Like, they built the Owens and Zayn match very well.
Yep.
And I don't think that's the end of those.
They even did work to build the women's tag match.
Yeah.
They had segments with them the whole time building up to it. So you actually understood, I get why they're having this match.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel like it was just something thrown together.
And nothing felt final. No, nothing felt like finite either. So you have, you still have Owens and Orton that are still they still have something to hash out.
And you better believe Zayn's going to get revenge.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I love it. I want to see it, but also, I'm begging them not to end each other's careers and kill each other, because they're friends and they trust each other so much. They're so willing to go. Yeah, dude, I'll go off the top of the cell if you'll go with me.
Yeah.
It's like, please no, please stop trying to take like fucked up risks. Like, cool, but also please don't get neck broken or something.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is
those 2 guys. Please don't let Sami and Kevin have a Hell in a Cell match against each other, singles match. Please no, because they will not take no for an answer, and they'll probably just go behind Triple H's back if he tells them no, on either doing something wicked fucked up off the top without a crash pad, or going through it or some shit.
This match makes me believe it. Like, Triple H doesn't really want to tell those guys no, because he knows how fucking good it is. It's like, it's absolute money.
He's going, if you're gonna take a bump that can alter your career, take one, and take it when it's gonna count the most.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, I wonder. I bet they're both feeling like dog shit right now. The day
Oh yeah,
after,
for
dude,
sure.
they got to be feeling bad. Dude, everybody, pretty much
Kevin,
everybody
Kevin,
in the all those matches got beat up bad.
yeah, Kevin like hit his face on a barbed wire chair. Like,
Oh God,
I'm
yeah,
surprised he
he
wasn't
did,
cut up from that.
dude. That barbed wire chair.
Because I watched it back and
I,
he hit that fucking chair.
oh yeah, he did, and it didn't look good either. Did not look good.
All right, well, yeah, that's it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed that as much as we did because that was fucking wild.
Oh, that was incredible. How can you be a fan of wrestling and not have had your jaw on the floor last night watching
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
You just did. And if you missed it, no big deal.
it's
But you
there.
gotta see it.
Just
You
watch it.
gotta see it. Just watch it. Don't even question. Just watch it. You
All right.
got it. It's an all time historic moment in wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We'll see you. We'll see you soon.
Yep. Peace.